Yesterday, for the average hockey fan, you could say that in the news department, things were quite eventful. On one hand, there was Mike Smith openly questioning his future in the NHL, and on the other, some interesting rumors involving longtime Bruins winger David Pastrnak that began to surface. Therefore, in this video, we're going to attempt to go over the situations regarding both players along with a couple others. We'll be going over why they could be moving on from their teams and where they could end up. And with that, here are 4 NHL players who could be done with their current teams for good. At the start of the season, and even last offseason really, the Edmonton Oilers were continuously criticized for not having a bona fide starter in nets. The frustration regarding the cage even found its way into press conferences shortly before former head coach Dave Tippett's demise, as goaltender Mikko Koskinen was openly criticized as Tippett said, quote, "Our goaltender wasn't very good," end quote. Now, obviously, the Oilers' current head coach Jay Woodcroft wouldn't be the last coach to say a similar comment, but if he did this postseason, hypothetically, it would probably be directed at Mike Smith instead. And really though, you could say that Smith had moments of brilliance while manning the crease for the majority of the 3 series. However, if we're being realistic, his highs were accompanied by lows as well. Seemingly every time that the goaltender would bring about the shock and awe response from spectators, he would be making a questionable play that would negate any previous high praise. Therefore, we could easily compare his play to that of a roller coaster ride. Unfortunately though, for the Edmonton Oilers and their fans, Smith's game concluded far from any type of high in sight. Following his misplay in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals, it quickly became clear that Smith's days could potentially be numbered in Edmonton. Even though he does have 1 season left on his current contract that commands a final cap hit of $2.2 million, Smith himself seemed unsure. When asked about a potential return to play next season, Smith replied with, "It's too early to tell." At 40 years of age, if Smith were to call it quits before next season, it seems like, in my opinion at least, the best option available. With Stuart Skinner still developing, all eyes will definitely be on Edmonton's net this offseason, considering that there's most likely huge changes to come. A few weeks ago, I decided to address the Chris Letang debacle. However, since we last touched on it, various insiders have been keeping tabs on the ongoing negotiations in the Steel City regarding Letang and Evgeny Malkin. Interestingly, NHL insider Pierre LeBrun recently commented on the negotiation proceedings. LeBrun seemed to be more optimistic when it came to the potential of Evgeny Malkin remaining in Pittsburgh. However, the same couldn't be said for Chris Letang. Unlike Malkin, who is more concerned with the contract amount, Letang's main issue seems to be related to term instead. At 35 years of age, the defenseman is coming off the best season out of his entire career yet. After scoring 68 points in 78 games played, Letang probably knows that this contract could be his last opportunity to cash in. However, the hesitancy on GM Ron Hextall's end is understandable, since, as I mentioned, Letang is already in his mid-30s. The hesitation to give him a lengthy extension is probably related to age. After taking his production into consideration, EvolvingHockey.com suggested that the defenseman is worth around $8.8 million a season. Even if Hextall did offer that amount per year to Letang, it's sounding like, by all accounts, that if this was 3 years or less, it would still be rejected. At this point, the probability of Letang remaining in the Burgh resembles that of a coin flip. Even still, if he were to sign elsewhere, as we've previously noted, the Montreal Canadiens and Seattle Kraken could be potential suitors, especially if the Habs unload the Jeff Petrie contract and have Price on the LTIR for next season. They'd be able to theoretically offer Letang the amount that he's hoping for. Despite free agency still being weeks away, and the Boston Bruins being removed from the playoffs since early last month, there's been quite a bit of news coming out of Beantown here recently. First, head coach Bruce Cassidy is relieved of his coaching duties, and secondly, the rumors of David Pastrnak leaving Boston have also begun to surface. Since being drafted 25th overall by Boston, Pastrnak has not only become an integral part of the Bruins lineup, but also a fan favorite simultaneously. After finding unbelievable chemistry with Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand for a lengthy bout of time, Pasta helped solidify what came to be known as a perfection line. Despite this though, Pasternak's intent to remain in Boston is now in question. According to an article from The Athletic, which I'll link below, an unnamed inside source revealed Pasternak's reasoning for wanting to bolt from Boston, while saying, quote, 88 has seen how Don has treated his two best friends. No chance he comes back with Sweens as GM, end quote. The article in summary went on to say that GM Don Sweeney didn't lobby to hold on to Torrey Krug or David Krejci once they decided that their time with the team was coming to an end, knowing that he already isn't happy in Boston and also that the Bruins probably won't be as high in the standings next season. Could we see a Pastrnak trade take place this offseason? NHL insider Elliot Friedman gave his thoughts on the Bruins' intentions by saying, "The initial sense I'm getting is that their goal is to sign him," he says. Obviously, when a player is traded, it's the team's management that facilitates the move. Even though they may want to sign him, however, Sweeney and company could be in for a rude awakening. While we can't rule a trade completely out, we can say that the chances of Pastrnak starting next season as a Bruin still seem pretty high. Even still, for the fun of speculation, if he were to be traded, a few up-and-coming teams that could afford him are New Jersey, Ottawa, and Los Angeles. Seattle also has a lot of cap space as well. Last trade deadline, Filip Forsberg was the subject of several trade rumors and speculation. Even though he was technically drafted by Washington, Forsberg has only played for Nashville up to this point in his career. At 27 years of age, the forward has had plenty of time to showcase his talents in the Music City and has become a reliable playmaker that's able to generate plenty of offensive opportunities. Coming off of the best season in his career thus far, Forsberg finished the 2021-2022 campaign with an impressive 84 points in only 69 games played. However, after the Predators succumbed to defeat in the opening round of the postseason, Forsberg's future continued to be uncertain. Despite this though, what we do know is that there's at least mutual interest between both parties to facilitate an extension as far as GM David Poile is concerned. What we don't know is how much money Forsberg is wanting and how much Poile is willing to give. Poile recently told the Tennessean that his main issue that's holding them back is related to contract amount. Since Forsberg is of similar age and has proven to be a top 6 type of player, the potential matches are similar to those of David Pastrnak. However, I would theorize that between the two players, the New York Islanders would probably make more sense for Forsberg, since they wouldn't have to trade for him and he would be cheaper all around. In conclusion, I'd like to take this time to thank my amazing patrons and channel members for all of their support. If you'd like to become a patron or channel member, information will be down below, and there you'll find various different tiers available for memberships.